Welcome to the New Europe studio and cafe. Today we're interviewing a young Lithuanian filmmaker, Romas Zabarauskas, is that correct?
Yeah.
Right. Romas is visiting the European Parliament where he's going to be showing one of his films he made in 2011 called Porno Melodrama, which should be a first for many members of the European Parliament to see. So, Romas, you're known also as a gay rights activist in Lithuania, and Porno Melodrama, made in 2011, is described as being the first gay film out of Lithuania.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, we're a young country. We gained our independence in the 90s, and indeed it was the first film that showed a gay relationship, and that I really pushed it as being first gay film, and I came out as gay publicly as well myself. And also at that time we had a new homophobic law presented, which was protections of minors law. And I find it very ironic because today we are all shocked about what's happening in Russia about this new anti-gay law they passed last summer. But actually we did it first. It's exactly the same law that we had in 2011. Of course, after international outrage and reactions, our parliament agreed on a softened version, and instead of saying it bans positive information on bisexual, homosexual and polygamous relationships for minors, whatever would that mean, now it says that it bans positive information of different family forms than the one that is stated in our civil code, which is heterosexual marriage. So implicitly it's still homophobic. And but my short film, I said, so let's try and see how this law works, and are they gonna ban it or not? And I was very openly provocative, because I think it's most important not to be afraid, because that's what they want us to be. And they didn't ban that film, and it was screened at Berlin Film Festival and in Lithuania as well, even for minors. And I mean, that it was not banned or out of festivals. So the provocation worked, and at the same time it was not banned. But this year it was the first time that this law was already used successfully. Because we had our LGBT Pride this summer, and our national television was showing advertising for that Pride, and they said in the end that actually we cannot show this at the daytime because this law says that this is bad for children, whatever. And then our LGBT organization took it to the Journalist Ethics Commission, and they said that indeed one of these ads should not be shown at the daytime, although it's really nothing provocative even. So it was the first time that the law was used, and it shows that we are in danger. I mean, it can be used again and again, but we have many new homophobic initiatives, and we're just we don't even have time to react to everything.
I mean, one thing that most people realise is Lithuania is a comparatively very small country, and I'm just wondering, is it harder to come out as gay in such a small country, coming out from perhaps the experience under Russian domination?
Well, yes, I think we are 3 million in the whole country, and it is hard, and we don't have a lot of public gay personalities or politicians. We can count them, on our fingers, but I think in that sense it's getting better, and recently we do have more and more in general celebrities supporting gay rights, because even that is actually quite brave and unusual in Lithuania. And so it's getting better. I mean, as for myself, I think I'm really lucky that I have a very open-minded family and friends, but I also think that you are creating your own reality. So I surrounded myself with people who are open-minded. So I am strong how to say, I'm strongly for coming out, even when it's a bit dangerous, because I think that's the way to change things.
I think what we've seen in many parts of Europe, and it's a trend that's beginning, is we've seen perhaps in my lifetime of 50 years, we've gone from a stage where homosexuality was illegal to a stage where civil partnerships and civil marriage is legal. That's been quite a change. When you look at the rest of Europe that has gone through this quite painful process of adaptation and understanding, does that give you heart? Do you feel, as it were, that you're on the right side of history on this? Can you win? Can you get equality?
Yes, of course. I think it's encouraging, and what has changed, and of course, especially LGBT activists who were pioneers and who changed things where it was not so easy and even not imaginable to that change that we have today. And I think that even LGBT rights history is how to say, is setting up an example on how to fight your own rights, etc. But of course, there still are a lot of challenges, and I don't know. It's just, in Lithuania we were always thinking, okay, it's getting better. We are becoming more Western. It's gonna come with time, with economy. But I don't feel that, because we were progressing before. Well, it's a paradox, but we were progressing before going to EU, because all politicians were trying to play that, okay, we're actually very open-minded, we want to get to EU. But once we got there, they just don't care, and they're as populist, as cynical, and as homophobic as they want. And so it's of course legislation changed, but just the general public opinions and the things that they say and they push, it's, I don't know, sometimes I think it's not even getting better. So it's a difficult situation.
I mean, one of the things that I can recall is when, for example, Michael Cashman, the member of the European Parliament now, he started off playing a gay character in a British sitcom. And looking back now, doing that really was one of the things that you can say that did change attitudes. Are you seeing any kind of helpful encouragement signs that people in more equal countries are supporting you, or that attitudes are beginning to change in parts of Lithuanian society, if not all?
Well, yes, of course, there are different processes happening at the same time, I would say. While the politicians are becoming more hysterical, there are positive signs as well. I think the positive signs are really that LGBT community itself is mobilizing, and for example, with the new technologies we have coming out on YouTube that become viral and just that reach people and really contributed to change their opinion, and that's very important, even if it seems a small thing. I also really value that, really, as I said, our celebrities, like our famous people in media industry, like started to speak up for LGBT rights. I think it's very important. I'm a big proponent of public change. I think when public opinion will change, then our populist politicians will follow. Unfortunately, it's not the opposite. In Lithuania, they're not leaders, I'm sorry to say, but the majority of them are doing just, very bad job. So
I'm also wondering, I mean, is this affecting your career as a director? As someone who's trying to improve Lithuania's cultural?
Well, it's very difficult to say, because my career is based on films that are addressing these issues. So I'm at the same time, damaging my career and benefiting it from it. I guess, it's kind of difficult. It would be difficult for me to give an honest answer on that. But I think yes, I do receive a lot of homophobic reactions that I think have nothing to do with the value of my films itself. But you know, I do receive also a lot of support. So I don't know. It would be difficult to answer that question. I'm in a strange situation because, you know, my passion is to do films, but because I'm gay and I do want to be socially engaged, I became also, you know, public speaker for LGBT rights, and I'm doing a lot of it. And I'm sometimes I'm caught in between of being an artist and an activist. But it's, you know, it's fine. I think art should be political too, and it's all linked together. So,
but I mean, you're discussing the mixing of the gay rights and your filmmaking career. But,
yeah.
But you're not looking at this from a particularly narrow state. I mean, for example, you've got a new film that's come out called We Will Riot. I mean, could you perhaps just tell our viewers a little bit about the plot, and I think that will explain a little bit how you're looking at this issue.
Yeah, well, We Will Riot is a film shot mostly in English between New York and Lithuania, and it tells a story of a black New York DJ, rich kid who wants to be a rebel, but he's not really. And then he discovers that he has a grandmother in Lithuania that his parents didn't tell about because allegedly she was racist. And then he, against his parents' will, he goes to Lithuania to discover her, and also discovers a real existing beatmaker's music scene, finds a girlfriend and a gay friend also, and here he becomes that rebel that he always wanted to be. So yeah, so this film again is related with social issues, this time also racism and corruption. So yeah, I think for me these subjects are important. At the same time, I would add that my films are not really educational, they're provocative and dealing with these subjects in, you know, crazy ways on their own, as titles suggest as well.
But I think, I mean, this is why I wanted to bring up We Will Riot, because it shows that you may be a gay Lithuanian filmmaker, but you do more than make gay Lithuanian films. You know, you're not purely identified by your sexuality.
Yeah, that is true. Although actually I'm not afraid to be defined by my sexuality, because I'm grateful for the fact that for the fact that I experienced everything that I did experience. And I think that, you know, there are a lot of artists who deal with these subjects and then try to kind of detract themselves from their sexual identities, but I wouldn't follow that trend, because, you know what, it's part of me, and, you know, it's, for me it's important that I'm gay, actually, because of, you know, everything that I experienced was difficult, but now it's really a part of me. And the same, it's important also that I'm Lithuanian. You know, it's a small country, and you know, I'm not a nationalist, but you know, I am proud of our culture and of our little small country. You know, when I go abroad, so it's the same thing. It's I would agree, it doesn't describe me, but it is part of me. So.
I mean, the other thing that I've noticed that you've said or pointed out elsewhere is, with Lithuania being so small, it's hard to get a commercial kind of film industry of any kind going on there. How are you trying to deal with that? Because getting the money, getting the funding, the distribution is a nightmare for every director, never mind a young one starting out.
Well, yeah, that's true. So actually, I should say also that I got funding for both of my films from Cultural Ministry. So it shows that, you know, not all state is homophobic, I guess, you know, but it was little money. Then I also did crowdfunding campaigns for both films, and that's how I did it mostly, you know. And with my feature, I started to get also private sponsors already, small ones, but still I think it's a huge step forward. both for me as a filmmaker, but also in general, that private businesses start to not be afraid to support LGBT activists or artists, etc. So it's difficult, but I'm doing things quite independently, and I don't know, but it's true that it is difficult, and I have a script for a bigger budget film, but now I am writing another project for a really low budget film because of the conditions that I have. So.
Well, Romas, I must say thank you very much for coming in and talking to us. We're always welcoming people who are creative. We're always looking at how Europe is more than one or two countries or one or two large countries, but includes the greatest and the smallest nations. So, Romas, thank you very much, and welcome to Brussels.